So take page number 5, journal entry. Taken?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a moment. Manjusha, good evening, dear. Manjusha, can you hear me? Network issue. Start. So the first transaction is page number 5, question number 2. Deposited in bank for opening current account. What is the meaning of this transaction? Deposited in bank means business, it is taking cash from its office and going to bank and depositing there in its account. This is the meaning of this. Now what will be the impact? You have to think. Bank balance will increase, right? Because when business deposit cash into bank means bank balance will increase, and from office the cash will decrease. So now what will be the journal entry? Bank, cash, both are assets. So one asset is increasing, so you have to debit, bank account debit, because bank is an asset and it is increasing. Rule: whenever asset increases you have to debit. Understood?
Good
Manjusha,
evening, ma'am.
good evening, dear. What happened? Network issue?
Yes, ma'am. It was taking some time to load.
Okay. Have you gone through the last class video?
Yes, ma'am. I've seen the video.
So journal entry, as I told you, it's extremely important chapter, dear. Don't miss any class. If the base is not good, you won't be able to solve anything in accounts. Okay? So try, and I
Yes,
have
ma'am.
taken all the important questions which are very hard and difficult, because easy question you can do it. Yeah, it's very easy. Suppose I am telling you, Manjusha, rent paid. What will, so in your school now, which chapter they are teaching?
Ma'am, journal they finished.
Journal entry finished.
Yes, ma'am.
How fast they are moving, see. So can you tell me the journal entry for rent paid?
Uh,
Yeah.
cash account, sorry.
Think and
Rent
tell.
account debit to cash account credit.
Excellent. Can you tell me the journal entry for outstanding salary? Outstanding salary, suppose 100 rupees. Can you pass the journal entry?
Outstanding salary debit to capital account credit.
Wrong, wrong, wrong. See, listen. First, you have to think. Outstanding salary, tell me under clear whether it comes under what? Tell me. Under clear. See,
Liability.
very good. Outstanding salary is a liability. We have to pay the salary to our employees, yet we didn't pay. So, will you credit or debit? Liability, what is the rule?
If liability increases, then we have to credit, and if it decreases, we have to debit.
Very good. Now tell me, outstanding salary is a liability. It is increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
So what you have to do?
We have to credit.
Very good. Then what you will debit? If one account is credited, definitely you have to debit some account. Which account? Salary account. You have to what? You have to debit salary account. Now why you are debiting salary account? Salary is an expense, right? And whether the expenses of the current financial year paid or not, if the expenses happened in business, you have to record. So salary we have to pay. We took the services from the employees. We means I am talking about business, but business didn't make the payment, so services we received. So Now the salary has become due, but we didn't make the payment. That is why it is outstanding. So expense has taken place, right? When you are taking services from somebody, what does it show? It show expenses has been, yes, taken place. So once the expenses happened in business, you have to debit the expense account. So salary account debit to outstanding salary account. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, today we will do this question afterwards. Actually, there are 4 to 5 this adjustment entry which are extremely important. I think you people are not clear. So you write it down. Notes I have not given for that. Now I will tell you, just write it down. Okay, both of you. Then we will move this question. Yeah. So Manjusha and Janani, both of you. First, write outstanding salary rupees 100.
Ma'am, from which page do we have to start in the video?
No, today actually I want to start page number 5, okay? Question number 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Last question number 1 I already taught in the last class. But now I am saying I am going to tell you few important journal entry which is not in my notes. So I will dictate, you write it down. That is not in my notes. I will say you write it down, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so first you just write what I'm saying, just listen, write it down, both of you, Janani and Manjusha. Outstanding salary 100. This is the question, okay? So you can just write 1 and you can write outstanding salary rupees 100, that's all. Now you have to pass the journal entry for this. How you will pass? Just now I told you. Yes? Tell me, Manjusha, if I'm telling you to pass journal entry for outstanding salary.
Salary account debit to outstanding
Salary account. Being salary due. Write it down, both of you. These are known as adjustment entries. Very important. Once you have written, let me know so that we can move to other adjustment entry. I will tell you. Yeah. Janani, now just unmute yourself. You have to tell me. Prepaid expenses 100 rupees. First write it down, the second journal entry. That is, the question is prepaid rent. Okay, write it down. Prepaid rent 100 rupees. First write it down. Now what journal entry you will pass, Janani, for prepaid rent 100 rupees? I am asking you to pass journal entry. Tell me.
Prepaid rent account debit.
Very good.
To cash account.
No. See. Manjusha, you want to give a try?
Ma'am, for prepaid rent, isn't it an expense?
No. See, first I will tell you what is prepaid rent. Then you can decide whether it is expense, income or what. See, prepaid rent means rent paid to landlord in advance. Suppose I have to pay rent for January month. Suppose. Okay. But I am paying rent for February month also. So, February month rent is what? Prepaid rent. I have paid the rent in advance. Now, it is an asset for the business. Always prepaid rent or prepaid whatever, it is always asset for any business. Why? Because in February month, what the business needs to receive? Services, right? Are you understanding? February month, business will receive services. Services means business is going to get benefit for the February month. February month again business will not make payment of any rent to the landlord. It will stay and continue its business. If suppose the landlord says the business to just vacant the room, then the landlord will pay the rent already paid in advance to business. So anyways, business is going to get benefit in the February month. Either it will stay, or if the landlord is asking to just vacant land, it's landlord who will pay the rent, pay the advance payment. Are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
That is the reason prepaid expenses, any expenses, maybe prepaid rent, prepaid insurance, anything it is, you can just write it down as important note. Kindly write it down. Listen as well as write it down. So write it down that it is always an asset. Like outstanding salary is a liability, prepaid rent is an asset for any business. Suppose it is an asset means you have to debit the asset when it increases. So prepaid rent account debit. Now what you have to credit? You have to credit to rent account. So I am telling you the journal entry. I will explain why we are crediting rent account. First write it down. Prepaid rent account debit to rent account. This will be the journal entry for prepaid rent. Written?
Yes.
Yeah. Suppose I am saying rent paid, you will pass the journal entry rent account debit to cash. Suppose I am saying rent paid, pass the journal entry. You will say rent account debit to cash account. Suppose I am saying prepaid rent, then what I said, prepaid rent account to rent, because we are following accrual basis. Now what is this accrual basis of accounting? All the expenses, all the income of the current year we have to record, whether paid or not. If any expenses we are paying for the next year, it does not relate to our current year, we have to subtract that expenses from current year. Suppose any income we are receiving for the next year, you have to subtract that income. Okay, are you understanding? This is the rule because we are following accrual concept in our accounting. In the same way, suppose any income has become due but we didn't receive. It relates to the current year. You have to add in the income. Suppose any income we are receiving for the next year, you have to subtract from the income. Any expenses paid for the next year, you have to subtract from the current year respective expense. Any expenses you have to pay has become due but not paid, that is outstanding, you have to add those expenses in the current year. So Manjusha, Janani, are you understanding or having any doubt in this?
Understood.
Okay, Janani?
I'm kind of confused that how is it to rent instead of to cash?
Yes. See, if you are paying rent, you are suppose the question tells you rent paid, simply pass journal entry. Definitely you will write rent account debit to cash account because you don't know rent is paid for which month, whether it is paid for the current year or it is paid for the next year. You don't know because question is not telling you. So simply you will write rent account debit to cash account. Now I am telling you prepaid rent. So question is clearly telling you that the rent is not paid for the current year. It is paid for the next year. You are paying the rent in advance. So what I told you just now, what is the accrual concept? Accrual concept in our accounting says whenever any expenses does not relate to our current year, it relates to the next year, you should not take it into account. You should subtract. That is the reason rent is an expense and you are paying for the next year. It does not relate to our current year. How you came to know? Because prepaid word is there. By the word we understood rent is for the next year. So already when we paid the rent, we would have passed the journal entry rent account debit to cash. In that the next year rent is also included already. Now we have to subtract that. That is the reason to rent account. If you want to reduce any expenses, what is the rule of debit and credit? CLEAR. If expenses increases, you will debit the account. If expenses decreases, you have to credit the account. So now you have to decrease, you have to subtract the expense. This expense does not relate to current year, this relates to the next year. So when we will prepare accounting or we will do the accounting for the next year, during that year we will show expense of that year. Suppose I am okay, so now the concept is clear, Janani?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is the reason you are writing prepaid rent account debit to rent. Suppose prepaid insurance is given in your question, prepaid insurance account debit to insurance. Whatever expenses paid in advance, you have to subtract. It does not relate to current year. That is the reason if you want to subtract any expense, you have to decrease any expense, you have to credit. That is why I am crediting the expense account. And since prepaid is always an asset, I am debiting it. Understood? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What about Manjusha?
Yes, ma'am.
Very, very important, dear. So kindly write it down. Now, the next, Manjusha, you have to tell me accrued income, past journal entry for accrued income. Accrued interest, you can write it down. Accrued interest. What is the meaning of accrued?
Accrued income is the income.
Tell me.
Accrued means paid but the services are not yet received.
No. See, accrued income. It is not expense. How you will pay any income? Accrued income means.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. Accrued income. It is.
Yes.
We receive the money, but we still have to give the services.
Yes, very good. The business has rendered its services, but now business didn't receive its income. So it relates to the current year only. Current year work has been done by the business, but business didn't receive the income. That is only accrued income. So it is also an asset. So you can write it down. Prepaid expenses and accrued income both are assets. Kindly both of you write it down. Prepaid expenses and accrued income both are assets for any business. Write it down clearly. So now accrued income, as I told you, it is an asset. Why it is an asset? Because we have to receive the income in future. We have given our services or we did the job, but we didn't receive the income. That is the reason it is an asset. In future, whatever benefit we are going to get from outsiders, it is always asset for any business. That is the reason. So what I said, accrued interest. So accrued interest account debit first because it is an asset. Accrued interest is an asset. Now what I said, always you have to follow accrual concept. Accrual concept says any income, again I am repeating and kindly you write it down, dear, both of you, whatever I am saying, it's a request for your benefit, write it down. So accrual concept says whether any income received or not, but it should relate to the current year. Again there are condition, it's not like just we are doing accrued, sorry this accrual concept says if any income whether received or not but relates to the current year, we should record in book of accounts. So accrued income relates to the current year only, even though we didn't received, we means business, but it relates to the current year, so we have to show it as income of the current year. So any income always has a credit balance. First, accrued interest account debit because it is an asset. 2, interest account. Interest is an income of current year. So you have to credit it. You got it, both of you. Janani, Manjusha, are you getting?
Yes.
Yeah. Kindly write it down, whatever I am saying dear, write it down in your own words for your understanding, both of you. Now the next one, outstanding salary we did, accrued income, prepaid we did. Yes, one last, unearned income, write it down. unearned income or income received in advance. Unearned income or income received in advance. Now what is that? Unearned income or income received in advance. Any income if received in advance, for example, there will be some customer in our business who will say, I will make you the payment for the goods this month only or this year only, but you kindly don't send the goods this year, you send the goods next year in our godown. Some customer will be there. So now what is happening? Business is receiving the income in advance, but business is not providing the services this year. So it is not the income of this year. Always remember, whenever the business does the work and receives the income, that is only income of the current year. Whenever business receives the work and does the payment, that is expense of the current year. You should be clear with the concept. Now, income received in advance means business did not supply the goods to the customer. Business needs to supply in the next year. But before supplying the goods, before doing the work, business is receiving the income money from the customer. That is always a liability. Because in future, that is in next year, business should give the goods to the customer. So when it's a liability, liability always has a credit balance. So unearned income or income received in advance is always a liability, you have to credit. So any commission received in advance, anything, any income received in advance is always a liability. Suppose commission received in advance. So you can write it down, to commission received in advance. It's a liability. Now what you will write in the debit side? If you are writing in the credit side, to commission received in advance or any income you are receiving in advance, in the debit side what you will write? You will write that income name. Suppose commission you are receiving in advance. So first you will write to commission received in advance since it's a liability, and that commission does not relate to the current year. That income doesn't relate to the current year, na? Because I told you, once the business does the job and earns the money, then only it is income for the current year. Without doing any work, if business is earning something, it is not at all income of the current year. It is next year when the work will be done, then this income will be considered as income of the next year. So you have to write commission account debit. Now why you are writing commission account debit to commission received in advance account? To commission received in advance you are writing because it's a liability. You are receiving income without doing any work. It's a liability. But why you are debiting this commission account? Now again come, as per the rule of debit and credit, if you want to decrease any income, suppose any income increases, you will credit the account, income account. Suppose any income decreases, you have to debit. Now you are going to decrease the income from the current year, because when you would have received, you would have passed the journal entry, cash account debit to commission received. This journal entry already you have passed. Now after preparing book of accounts, we are doing the corrections. End of the financial year, accountant will do the correction. Okay, this income does not relate to current year. So we have to subtract from the income already received during the current year. Because that in that income, this income is also included. Now you have to subtract. How you will subtract? Just like that, it is not maths to write minus plus. Instead of minus plus only, we are using debit and credit as per the rule. That is the reason. Now we have to decrease the income from the current year. You have to subtract this income. And as per the rule, you have to debit the income account. That is the reason commission account debit to commission received in advance account. Understood or having any doubt, Manjusha Janani?
Understand.
Okay. So all these are adjustment entries. So I think now, and basic things I think you know, right? Like rent paid and all. Suppose goods purchased. What will be the journal entry? Janani, tell me. Goods purchased. Can you tell me the journal entry? Yes, Janani. Goods purchased. Tell me the journal entry.
Sales account to cash account.
What account?
Sales account
No
to
dear,
cash account.
no dear. How sales account? What I said, goods purchased for rupees 100. If the business is purchasing good, how sales will come? See, goods purchased. Write it down, both of you. Manjusha and Janani, both of you write it down. Goods purchased for rupees 100. Write it down.
Ma'am, can I try?
Yes?
Ma'am, can I try?
Yeah, try. Tell me, dear.
Ma'am, goods purchased for 100 rupees, right?
Yeah.
Then purchase account debit to cash account credit.
Yes, very good. Janani, see, whenever the business does any purchases of goods, again there is a difference for this goods and assets. If goods are purchased, we will use purchase account debit. If any asset is purchased, like machinery purchased, land and building purchased, furniture purchased, then you have to write name of the asset. How you will write? Machinery account debit, land and building account debit, furniture account debit. Only for goods in which the business is dealing, we use purchase and sale. If the goods are purchased, you will write purchase account. There is a logic again. Why you are debiting purchase account? It is expense for any business. Whenever we are purchasing anything, it is an expense. Rule says if expense increases, debit. That is the reason you are debiting purchase account. Why cash account you are crediting? When you do the purchase, what is going out? Cash is going out. Now what is cash? Asset. Now apply, every time you have to apply the rule. If cash is going out, means it is decreasing. Asset is decreasing. Rule, if any asset decrease, you have to debit. That is the reason purchases account debit to cash account. If any credit purchase is done, then you have to write the name of the person. Suppose goods purchased from Ram and nothing is mentioned, means it is a credit purchase, and purchases account debit to Ram account. Ram has become our creditor. He is liability now. We didn't pay any cash, so cash is not going outside. But one liability is increasing. Are you understanding, Janani?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so kindly write it down, okay? Write it down. And now the next journal entry, write it down. Goods sold for 100 rupees. Any amount, because it will be given in your question. Amount does not matter. The concept matters a lot. You should know the concept. Amount you can see and write whatever given in question. So I am not focusing on amount now. Goods sold for rupees 100 you can write. Now tell me, Janani, what will be the journal entry? Goods sold for 100 rupees. Yes.
It will be.
Think and tell. No hurry, just think. If goods are sold, think what two accounts are involved. You have to think. Then you have to apply rules of debit and credit. Apply the steps. Goods are sold. Tell me first which two accounts are involved.
Cash and
Yes.
sales.
Very good. Then if both these accounts are involved, sales account, tell me the rule. Rule of sales account, whether sales income, what is sales?
An asset.
No dear, sales is an income dear. See, when you are selling the goods, what you are doing, you means business. Whenever business sell its goods, it is earning income only, na. If I am selling a pencil costing 10 rupees for 12 rupees, that 12 rupees income for me, pencil is my goods. So when I am selling pencil to my customer and I am earning 12 rupees, what I will call? I will call it as my income. So by doing sales, I earned my income. So sales is always an income, and suppose sales is an income, you have to credit it. Okay, sales account is always credited because it is an income. Purchase is an expense. Now, if you are crediting sales account, which account you will debit? Cash account. Why you are debiting cash account? Cash account debit to sales. Why? Because when you are selling goods to your customer, what you are getting in return? Cash you are getting. Now apply the rule. Cash is an asset. Sales is an income. Cash is an asset. Okay. Don't get confused. You should know what are incomes, what are expenses. Then only you can pass the entry. So now, if cash is an asset, apply the rule. Whether it is increasing or decreasing, when you sell goods to your customer, cash is increasing. So asset is increasing means you have to debit the asset account. That is the reason cash account debit to sales account. Understood now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Yes, Manjusha, you have any doubt in these entries?
No, ma'am.
You are writing everything now, both of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, fine. Now, yes, Janani, you tell me. Machinery purchased for 1000. Write it down. Write it down and tell me the entry, and that also you have to write it down. Machinery purchased for 1000.
Machine account to cash account.
Very good. Why you didn't write purchase account, Janani? Can you tell me? You are right. Don't again get confused. You are right, but I want to know the logic behind it. Why you are writing machinery account? Why you are not writing purchase account?
Because it's already mentioned as machines.
Yeah, it is not mentioned. Actually, machinery is an asset for any business. Machinery, furniture, land and building, all these are assets. And the rule is whenever any asset is purchased or sold, we never use purchase or sale. We always use name of the asset. Just think now, if you use for that asset also purchase and sale, how you will come to know whether you are selling asset or goods? Because both are different thing, both are not same. Goods are purchased always for reselling purpose and earning profit, but assets are never purchased by the business for reselling it. Assets are used for getting benefit. Okay, for receiving benefit only assets are purchased. It is not purchased for reselling it. That is the reason we always use name of the asset when we are purchasing or selling. Now it's clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Now, Manjusha, you tell me, dear, plant and machinery sold for rupees 5000. Write it down. Plant and machinery sold for rupees 5000. Write it down, then pass the entry.
Ma'am, cash account debit, plant account credit to machinery account.
Actually, land and building, I said. Either you can say plant and machinery or land and building. It will come in this way only. Land and building, plant and machinery. Either one.
Yes.
So you cannot pass separately. Both are same. Okay. Same means both comes under one amount only. If I am saying plant and machinery sold for rupees 5000, then cash account debit to plant and machinery account 5000. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You should not write two plant account, two machinery. All comes under one amount only. So you have to write two plant and machinery 5000, or two land and building, or two furniture and fixture, whatever given in question. That is one only. Okay. Return. Janani, unmute yourself, dear. Creditors paid 500 rupees. Pass the journal entry. Yes, Janani. Creditors paid 100 rupees. Pass the journal entry.
Creditors account debit to cash account.
Excellent. Very good. Can you tell me why you have debited creditors account?
Because I have already paid.
Yes, not we have paid. Actually, the logic is creditor is a liability. And in accounts language only you have to answer. When creditors is a liability, it is decreasing. Once you are making payment means what is happening to our liability? It is decreasing. That is the reason we are applying the rule of debit and credit. And what the rule says, if any liability decreases, you have to debit the account. That is the reason creditors account you are debiting. And when you do the payment, cash is going outside. Again the rule of asset. Whenever asset decreases, you have to credit. So creditors account to cash, this much logic it has. It's not just like that. Okay. So try to understand and catch the logic. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Now Manjusha, interest
Yes,
received. Write it down. Whatever I am saying first, write it down. Pass the entry. That also you have to write it down. Interest received. 100 rupees. Take the 100 rupees only. We are doing for concept only. Interest received. 100 rupees. Pass the entry.
Interest account debit.
You have to think and tell, Manjusha. No hurry, dear. If you are doing interest account, tell me the impact. If you are debiting interest account, what is the meaning of that?
That means interest is increasing.
If you are debiting interest, it means it is increasing, dear. So, see, listen the question. What is the question? Interest received. It is not interest paid. So, interest received, it is income or expense. First, you have to identify that.
Interest received is expense.
How, dear? Interest received, commission received, rent received, anything received is always an income. Anything paid is always an expense, dear. I am receiving something. How it is an expense, dear? I am paying anything, it is an expense. Rent paid, I am paying rent to landlord, it is an expense. I am paying salary, salary paid, expense. But received, somebody is giving some thing to me like in form of cash, it is income for me, na? How it is an expense? See, tuition fees you people are paying, right? Both of your parents are paying me tuition fees. So whether it is I am receiving tuition fees, it is income or expense for me?
For you, it's an income.
Yes. From what I said, always you are doing accounting for business. Okay. You have to think from business point of view, not from your point of view or from any other person's point of view. Always you should think from business point of view. So if I am saying interest received means business is receiving interest. If I am saying interest paid means business is paying interest. So for business it is income or expense. First you have to think, then pass the entry. Now tell me.
When interest received is an income, then income, when would the income be added in cash and be called as an asset?
Yes, of course. So no. So what? See, interest received is an income. First you have to, as I told you, see, first you have to think which two accounts are involved. Interest received, what are the two accounts involved?
interest account.
Interest received account, not only interest. Okay, interest received you have to say and write. Okay, then one more.
Capital.
No, when you are receiving something, you will receive in which form? If I am receiving tuition fees, yes, cash. So now can you tell me which two accounts are involved?
Income received account and cash account.
Now apply the rule and tell me which account to be credited, which to be debited. That is only journal entry. Now tell me. Income received, it comes under clear under what head?
Income received comes under revenue.
Very good. So what you will do?
To credit.
Very good. Very good. That's it. So you have to understand from root. You got it, Janani? No, you didn't got it. Okay, just unmute yourself. Now tell me interest received. Which two accounts are involved, dear?
Bank and cash.
No, bank and cash. Why both? Any one. Either you will get through check or cash, not both. Who are going to pay you through bank separately and through cash? Your customer will pay you either through bank or through cash. So only cash account, okay? Only cash you will receive, and interest received. Two accounts are involved. Interest received account and cash account. Now tell me interest received comes under?
Credit.
Yeah, it comes under revenue. So you have to credit. It is an income, na? Any income increases, you have to credit. So to interest received account. Now what you are getting? Cash. Cash is an asset. Again, asset is increasing. So you have to debit cash account. So what will be the entry? Tell me, Janani.
Cash account to interest
Received account. Very good. Write it down. Both of you write it down. Cash account debit to interest received account. I want with proper format, no shortcuts. You have to write. I don't know whether you people are writing date, particular, ledger, folio, amount, debit, credit. Proper format, please. Then the narration, everything. No shortcuts allowed. So write it down properly. Cash account debit to interest received account. In bracket write it down. That is narration. Being interest received. That's all. Manjusha, you tell me the next. Write it down first the question. Discount received. Write it down. Discount received.
Discount received.
Yes, write the question first. Yeah, you are telling the entry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is it discount received 100 rupees?
Yeah, you can write it down, dear. Just I told you. Yeah, write it down 100 only. Amount doesn't matter here. The concept matters a lot.
In discount received, we have to credit.
You have to?
Credit.
Credit. Very good. Because it's an income. You are right. Since it's an income, you are crediting to discount received. What about debit? Which account you will debit?
Discount received in cash.
See, when I am saying discount received, okay, I am business and I am receiving what? I am business, I am receiving discount. Discount I can't receive in cash, I can't pay. Just think now, you are going to a shop to purchase a new dress. The cost price of the dress is 1000, but there it is written discount 500 rupees in this particular dress. So you are paying 9500 to the shopkeeper. 500 you are receiving discount. So that 500 does the shopkeeper gives you in cash? So cash will never come. Either it is discount received or discount allowed. First thing you have to learn, because cash is not involved here. So customer account, okay, you have to write customer. See what actually you have to write the, not customer account. Who will give you discount if you are a business? Forget everything. You are a business, okay, and you are going to some other shopkeeper's shop and you are purchasing some goods. There that shopkeeper is giving you discount, then only you are receiving discount, right? So it is income for you, for the business. So the person who is giving you discount, who is he for the business? If I am business, I am purchasing goods from some other shop, that person is creditor for me. Creditor, debtor, you remember that term?
Yes, ma'am.
Creditor is a person who from whom business purchases goods on credit. Debtor is a person to whom business sell its goods, right? So now you can write it down like creditor's account, what? Or you can write customer account also, no issue. Customer account, you write it better customer account, because from whomever the business is purchasing goods, 100%. It is not necessary every time creditor. Maybe the business may pay the cash, okay, but after reducing the discount, the business may make the payment and receive the discount. Suppose business is receiving discount from A, okay. So it will be like that, A's account debit to discount received account. Are you understanding? From whoever is giving discount to the business, name of that particular person we have to write, okay.
Yes,
And it will be given in your question. That name or that person's name you will have in your question. Discount received from so and so. So the person who is giving discount, that name you will debit, and discount received is an income you have to credit. Now Janani, unmute yourself, dear. Yes? Yes, okay. Now goods are purchased from Ram for cash 10,000. First write it down. Both of you first write what I am saying. Goods are purchased from Ram for rupees 10,000. After writing, now tell me the journal entry, Janani. Goods purchased from Ram.
Can I say?
Yes, dear.
Can I say?
Yeah, tell me.
Purchase account to Ram's account.
Purchase account to Ram's account. It is wrong. Why it is wrong? Read the question, Janani. First read the question.
Goods purchased from Ram.
Yes. Then I have added one more line. Goods purchased from Ram for cash, I said. Goods purchased from Ram for cash 10,000, I said. You didn't wrote for cash?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear that properly.
Okay. Now tell me. Goods purchased from Ram for cash 10,000.
Purchase account, debit to cash account.
Yes. Because even though the name is given, but it is not a credit transaction, because again for cash is added in this question. That is the reason we are not writing to Ram. Ram is not our creditor. We are paying the cash and purchasing the goods. Even though name is given, you have to ignore if the purchases is for cash. Okay, here students get confused. They will think that name of the person is given, so it is a credit transaction. Not always. You have to read the question properly and you should be very alert. If for cash is added means we are paying the cash, then he is no more our creditor. Why to show him as a liability? If for cash is not added in question, for example, the question is goods purchased from Ram for 10,000. For cash is not written, for 10,000 only. It means it is a credit purchase and you have to pass the entry purchases account debit to Ram's account. But what I said, goods purchased from Ram for cash, then rupees 10,000. It's clear, Janani, Manjusha, both of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Now the next. Bad debts, write it down. Bad, BAD, debts, DEBTS. Bad debts amounted to rupees 500. Manjusha, you have to tell me, dear. Bad debts amounted to rupees 500. Pass the entry.
Ma'am, bad debts account?
Yes. You know what is bad debts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Bad debts account
Yes.
to... Ma'am, I am a little confused here
Okay.
because bad debts means they have a debtor who has not yet paid the money to us.
Yes.
And is not able to pay.
Yes, exactly.
Then if we debit bad debts because it's still with us, then what would be credit? Capital or...
No, why capital? Why? See, bad debts relates to whom? Tell me. First tell me, bad debts relates to whom?
Expense.
No, dear. It is...
Liability.
No liability, no expense, no capital. See, listen. Bad debts means there will be some debtors in our business who would have purchased goods on credit. Now, among those debtors, there will be some who will not pay us. They are known as bad debts. Are you understanding? There are some debtors. Among them, there will be few who will not make the payment. So, this relates to debtors only, bad debts. So, no capital, no expense, no liability. Debtors, bad debts. These two accounts only involved in bad debts. Now, bad debts is a loss for any business. Bad debts means it is always a loss and all the losses you have to debit. So, bad debts account you will debit. Now, what I said, bad debts and debtors are involved. So, you have to now come back to debtors and think. If there is any bad debts means from debtors only that bad debts is happening. So, asset is decreasing. Suppose debtors are 10,000 rupees and from that 10,000, 8,000 is bad debts means 8,000 debtors did not make the payment. Okay. So, debtors are decreasing. The result of bad debts are debtors. Asset is decreasing. So, bad debts account debit to debtors account. Now, you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, you try to interlink always, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, that's all for today, dear. In the next class, we will continue. Journal entry, it will take some time. You also have to practice, both of you. Lot of practice needed. Unless and until you sit and practice, if this chapter is not clear, it is useless to read accounts. Rest of the chapters all are interlinked. It is the base of accounts. So, try to just make your concept strong, both of you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, dear.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, dear. Bye.